So I'm back again or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just created this and ran it for the first time. This is a nuclear fission reactor. This took a lot of work, like a lot of work to actually build this up. You know what I'm saying? All the input and output buses and hatches and the maintenance hatches already had all of that. But this high temperature smelting casing, the heat vents, laminated glass, and even the nuclear reactor block itself took a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? And you can see the recipes. You know what I'm saying? I could pull up all the recipes, but just know that this took a lot of components or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I put a IV dynamo hatch, so that took a lot of time or whatever. But a IV dynamo hatch basically only outputs power or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So uh, because I'm officially in the IV tier or whatever, I wanted to use an IV dynamo hatch. I could use any kind of hatch here, but I want to power all the IV machinery or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That I built all of this right here. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this took a long time to make. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I had that little setup for tungsten or whatever, so I can eventually make tungsten steel. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it. You know what I'm saying? I made a decent amount, not too crazy or whatever, but all of this right here is all tungsten steel, all IV components or whatever, as well as this IV forks, battery buffer or whatever, and these IV batteries, vanadium batteries. I already had the vanadium. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't too hard to make this. But I just finished running two low enriched uranium fuel rods through the system, whatever, and they generated 7,372,800 EU in just those two fuel rods or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You need to run dust through a canner with some aluminum cells or any kind of cell or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But they were asking for aluminum cells in order to make the fuel rods. So my other fuel rods are right here. I got thorium fuel rods or whatever. But you need to centrifuge this. When you run it through, you get the depleted fuel rod or whatever. Then you centrifuge that, and then that's how you get your empty cell back and the uranium back. You know what I'm saying? But I needed this right here, plutonium. The only way you could get this is with uranium. You know what I'm saying? So I have to take this and run it through an arc furnace. I believe. Yeah, I gotta run it through an arc furnace to get plutonium ingots, and this is gonna be the very last step in order to get radon. This is what I've been grinding for, to get radon and then to get ME assembler. So this is the craziness of this pack. Like I said before, you could get to applied energistics before that, but you know, applied energistics all the way in EV/IV is insane to me. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, this is my first time really getting this far or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you have to do a lot of manual grinding in order to get this far. And for the most part, the only thing you have to rely on is for anything that's like applied energistics is create six. So, and I didn't heavily rely on create six as far as the automated side, even though I could with the factory gauges and all of that. I didn't feel like setting up the infrastructure because that would require me to go into a test world or whatever and set up a whole automation setup or whatever. You know what I'm saying? To automate as many things as possible. You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? But you will have to automate a lot of things and then a lot of basic things. Right now, I'm doing everything manually. You know what I'm saying? But stuff like it took time for all of this stuff. You know, automate a good chunk of this or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But none of these components are easy to make. You know what I'm saying? At all. None of these components are easy to make. And some of the stuff I bought with the coins, with the star coins or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, none of this stuff here is easy to make. You know what I'm saying? This is all handcrafted. You know what I'm saying? I had to clear out some of my backpack in order to put all of this stuff in here. And then I got tons of other resources randomly all over here. You know what I'm saying? All over here, all over here, you know, all over here. You know what I'm saying? All these components went into making that, as well as the fuel rods and everything else. You know what I'm saying? A couple of other aspects of whatever other things I was working on. I have components over here. You know what I'm saying? These are the diatron crystals. I forgot that I even made these before when I was talking about it before. You know what I'm saying? It was just sitting over here. You know, these are the exquisite diatron crystals. Like I said, you run them through a laboratory dynamo, you get 4 million RF, 4 million plus. So I have multiple ways that I'm generating power. This is another way of generating power, but this is going to be EU directly. I could set up a little automation system or whatever for that. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to go through the entire process of getting thorium. You know what I'm saying? Um, Thorium is a byproduct. I forgot of what it was from or whatever. There's another way. No, it's pitch blend. That's how I got it. Pitch blend. Pitch blend. You get uranite from that, and I think you said infusion or whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get it. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna go and look for the whole thing or whatever. You know, it's been a while since I actually created any of it. But yeah, that will require the whole automation system or whatever. But this generates a lot of power. You know what I'm saying? This generates a very decent amount of power. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm gonna do, and I'll put it all the way over here because as just like anything else, nuclear reactors from draconic, nuclear reactors uh, from the old. This used to be a nuclear, no nuclear craft back in the day, and everything else. You know what I'm saying? I was expecting this to you know also blow up because machines do blow up. They don't cause damage to the surrounding environment or whatever, but just to be leery, I put it all the way over here so it's separated from everything else. I'm also calling this entire what's the name? Just so I have a reference for this area. I'm calling it Machine City because all my machines look like buildings or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just call it that or whatever. Um, yeah. So just run a thorium rod through there. You see how much power that actually generates. We had 7 million in there before. We almost up to 10. So that's about 2 million plus. Yeah, that was about 2 million plus. Yeah. And then we get this is what we really want. The depleted fuel rod. We take that, run it through an EV centrifuge, and we get uranium 235, and then we could process that and get plutonium somewhere out of here. I have to look at the recipes again, and that's it. And you mix both of those together. You know what I'm saying? And you get your radon gas, and that's what I really needed. You know what I'm saying? And then come to find out, there was something. Forgot what I was doing. I was having a conversation or whatever. I was looking at a video or something, but come to find out, radon is a real gas, and it's a deadly gas. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those gases that can really kill you really fast or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm happy I actually got here because that means that I'm not far away from that, and I already have all the other basic components to make the 256 ME storage component. And normally, like back in the day or whatever, after playing multiple packs or whatever, I would realistically forget what I was actually doing. You know what I'm saying? But I have a system of bookmarking now, so I can remember what I was doing. You know, so looking good or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just swallow some spit. Looking good or whatever, you know what I'm saying? About to accomplish my goal and actually get here. And then I'm really waiting to get the A2. I still have a lot of components that I have to make for A2. You know what I'm saying? Kind of disregarded a lot of those, making those components just so I can like rush the progression towards AE2. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm not gonna say I like the grind to get to AE2. I don't really like that. I feel like uh you kind of need it before that, in my opinion. You need AE2 before this, because that will deter a lot of people from playing the pack. Now, in my opinion, in its current version, you know what I'm saying. The earlier versions didn't have AE2 wasn't as gregified as it was. You know what I'm saying, when I looked at the recipes or whatever. But now it's super gregified. You know what I'm saying? Like EV, like I said, that's a crazy tier, and you need IV components. That's the thing about it. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I had to go and make all these IV components, because there was a lot of things that I couldn't create without IV single block machines or whatever. So a combination of EV and IV and tier skipping in order to make the IV components and all that, in order to make all the required components or whatever to start A2. You know what I'm saying? Just to make an ME assembler. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But it's still rewarding at the same time. It was a long grind to get here. Finally got here. I'm not there completely yet. I still have to go through a little bit of process, but I'm here. You know. But like I said, and mind you, I have experience, limited experience, but I do have experience with GT. You know what I'm saying? Before, prior to this, I made it to MV, like late 8 LV, early MV. I've never been as far as I am right now. If there's anybody that's new playing GT, they're not gonna play. This pack is not for them. You need to play Minor Factory or something like that. That has a good introductory quest line. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to do a lot of research. I don't mind doing the research, but a lot of people won't do the research or whatever in order to figure out how to use these mods and figure out what you're doing is wrong and all. I also have a lot of experience because at this point I play hundreds of packs. I made hundreds of custom personal packs all throughout the years. Um, ever since back in the day, or whatever. Been basically playing this for like 10, 15 years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I know how to figure out the problems. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of less experienced players when it comes to modded MC are not going to be able to figure out the problems with a lot of things. And 9 out of 10 abandon this pack. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I'm saying all of that because the theming of the pack, for the most part, like this was a fun pack to play in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what their total vision was for the pack. You know what I'm saying? Outside of integrating, creating Greg Tech. Uh, I agree in the beginning that Create wasn't as integrated as it could be with GT. There was no real reason to use GT. You know what I'm saying? But it was still fun. I feel like if you're gonna integrate it, leaning more towards the create side, but still making it to where you have to do GT to actually progress. Because the whole point is to use uh create and GT together. From what I've seen, you know, a lot of people will take it like they take a lot of other packs and just use create as the early tier technology mod and then completely abandon it for what they perceive as the more complex mod that has a higher output when it comes to everything. But that's not really the case. That's just the reason why the mod's called create is because you have to use your imagination. A lot of modded players, in my opinion, don't actually use their imagination. You know, the whole game is about creativity. The mod creator is about creativity. I have a super smelter that's basically faster than any mechanism smelting factories that you can build, unless you happen to build more like a big giant multi-block of them. But normally people have like maybe 3 to 5 machines, maybe a little bit more than that. You throw all the different upgrades on it, max upgrades, use the time in the battle and everything else that can uh, a tick warp basically. You know what I'm saying? The block and all that. And my smelter is still faster than that. It smelt like 100,000 ingots in like 5 to 10 seconds with it. You know what I'm saying? It's about how you know, what's your name? You know what I'm saying? So I looked at this pack as like, you know, my good introduction into GT. You know what I'm saying? But I also looked at it as being fun because at that point I just finished learning create like a couple weeks ago. Not it's more than a couple weeks now because I've been running this pack for a couple of months. But I was fresh off playing the custom pack. You know what I'm saying? With create or whatever is my first time, and I kept all of my first original builds that I did with create. You know what I'm saying? And I see the potential of create. I always see the potential of things. I'm just I'm that type of person or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm a creative person or whatever. So I seen all the potential you could do with it. You know what I'm saying? And then I seen this pack and I seen like, you know, I kind of abandoned my custom pack and my custom world. I got like five other custom worlds going on right now. I don't really play in any of them except for this one because this one has the most challenge. I like challenge. You know what I'm saying? So I seen this as a way to actually get to the end of GT for the first time. You know what I'm saying? And because of the Stargate is actually the Stargate mod is actually included in this pack. I seen it as my opportunity to actually be a gate player. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that I achieved making a Stargate. And if you've seen how the Stargates are actually made, they're extremely complicated, kind of very complicated. You know what I'm saying? Spelling it all wrong. But they're composed of multiple blocks. They're composed of multiple blocks. I'm not gonna look and show the whole thing right now, but they're composed of multiple blocks. It's not easy. Multiple fluids, multiple blocks, and it's a very large multi-block structure. And not to mention, I also want to build a lot of those crazy GT multi blocks that I see that's like the size of buildings. I haven't built one yet. You know what I'm saying? All the multi blocks that I've been building don't even come anywhere near to the multi blocks that GT has. There's a lot of custom multi blocks in this. And from what I can recollect, for the most part, when I look at other packs with GT in it, they have custom multi blocks. GT and H, I really want to play, but I'm gonna play that on the server. But they have a lot of crazy, 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 crazy custom multi blocks. Some of the most powerful multi blocks I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at the capabilities of them, and that's all the stuff that I really want to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm only gonna be able to get so far in this pack because most of those big, large custom multi blocks don't even come with anywhere near GT and H's multi blocks at all. You know what I'm saying? Like on any level. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still enjoying this pack or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not because I invested so much time and you see all my builds are very intricate. I'm not gonna abandon this pack. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about it, you know what I'm saying, but I'm not gonna abandon it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Um, I have one of my friends or whatever, because normally when I'm playing, jump around from pack to pack to pack to pack and play multiple packs simultaneously. That's how I usually play it. I rarely ever play packs from the beginning to end because I see most of everything. I've done mostly everything already. You know what I'm saying? But so they was asking me like, like basically like when you're gonna get to a new plaque, or just implying when you're gonna get to a new plaque, and that's not really gonna happen. Not, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather go play a whole separate game or whatever at this point. You know what I'm saying? Besides, what's the name? I did go back to one of my customs, and that's probably what I would do is go back to one of my customs. Cause there's no pack out there that I've seen really that I really want to play. You know what I'm saying? Even though I see a couple of ideas or whatever, you know what I'm saying? There's a couple of ideas, but right now, after I get done with this, I want to play something different or just play something different in general. Um, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still enjoying this. You know what I'm saying? The only thing is like I like adventure and everything else like that. I like being able to run around and do some adventurous stuff, and then come back and do some technology. You know what I'm saying? This is purely 100% straight technology. Nothing to distract you at all. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I like the distractions. But anyway, this is just me rambling. But I'm very happy that I actually got this created. It took a long time to get here.